Imagine this, you have spent years studying, cracking interviews, and finally landed that dream job in the US. But just before you board a flight, you hear the news. Your employer now has to pay $100,000 just to bring you into the country. For many companies, that's more than your annual salary. For many individuals, that's the cost of their entire degree. And this isn't a rumor. This is exactly what the USA has just announced. But now there's a major update. The White House has clarified that this fee is one time payment, not an annual burden. Today we will break this down, what this new rule means, what exactly the H-1B visa is, why it matters so much to Indians, how this decision could shake up families, tech companies, and the global economy, and what options you have if you are affected. Let's start with the basics. The H-1B visa is a non-immigrant visa that allows US companies to employ foreign workers in what are called specialty occupations. Think software engineers, data analysts, architects, scientists, basically jobs that need at least a bachelor's degree or equivalent expertise. You can't apply for an H-1B visa by yourself. A US employer has to sponsor you, file a petition on your behalf, and then, if you get selected, often through a lottery because demand is so high, you can enter the US and work for them. The visa is usually granted for 3 years, but can be extended to 6 also. For decades, the H-1B visa has been a crucial bridge between American companies and global talent. And if you're Indian, this matters even more because roughly 70% of all H-1B visas every year go to Indian citizens. It's the single biggest route Indians take to work, settle, and sometimes eventually get a green card in the United States. The H-1B visa is not just an immigration policy. It's the bridge that has connected the Indian IT industry with the American economy for decades. Companies like Infosys, TCS, and Wipro may employ most of their staffs in India, but they rely on sending thousands of engineers to the US every year for on site work, working side by side with American clients, managing implementation, and ensuring projects run smoothly. This on-site offshore model is what made Indian IT globally competitive. But when the cost of sponsoring a single H-1B visa jumps to $100,000 per employee, this model becomes much more expensive. Fewer engineers may be sent on site, delivery could slow down, and companies might need to hire more local talent in the US, which costs significantly more than Indian employees. That can squeeze profit margins, make projects costlier for clients, and force Indian IT companies to rethink how they operate. And here's the twist, it's not just Indian firms that are affected. Some of the biggest H-1B sponsors are actually American companies themselves. Amazon alone filed over 6,000 H-1B petitions in 2023, more than any single Indian IT firm. Microsoft, Global, JP Morgan, Meta, Apple, all of them depend heavily on global talent for software engineering, AI research, cybersecurity, and quantitative finance. For them, this new fee represents a massive jump in hiring costs. Smaller companies and startups might not even have that option, which means critical roles could stay vacant. And there's a bigger consequence here, innovation. For years, the US has stayed ahead in technology and finance by attracting the brightest minds from around the world. If hiring global talent becomes too expensive, some companies might slow down projects, move R&D centers abroad, or outsource more work outside the US. Ironically, the exact opposite of what this policy aims to achieve. So, what's new? The US administration under President Trump announced a $100,000 fee for every new H-1B visa effective today, means September 21. But just as panic started spreading, The White House issued a major clarification on September 20. This is not an annual fee, it's a one time payment and it applies only to new H-1B visas. Existing visa holders are not affected and renewals don't trigger this payment. This makes the change less devastating than many initially feared, but still it's a huge jump compared to the previous cost, which was just a few $1,000s in filing fees. That's why Indian tech stocks Infosys, Wipro, TCS all saw their listed US shares fall after the announcement. The stated reason? The administration says that it is about preventing abuse of the H-1B program, reducing dependence on foreign workers, and prioritizing only the most extraordinary skilled workers. But critics argue that this is a protectionist move that could choke talent inflow and make US companies less competitive. Even as a one time cost, the impact is significant. For companies, it means they'll much more selective about who they sponsor, focusing on senior engineers, critical roles, and high value hires. This could make it harder for entry level professionals and fresh graduates to get H-1B sponsorships. For individuals, it means fewer opportunities and a tougher lottery process. Some offers might get delayed or cancelled if employer decides the cost isn't worth it. For Indian IT firm, this could mean rethinking delivery models, pushing more work offshore or negotiating higher project cost with clients to cover the fees. And for US tech giants, it means an immediate rise in hiring costs, potentially leading to slower hiring or shifting some role outside the US. So what can you do if you are affected? First, if you already have an approved H-1B visa and you are outside the USA, try to travel before your start date if possible, so you enter under the old cost structure. Second, stay closely updated on US CIS guidance. There may be exemptions for critical sectors or national interest cases. Third, keep alternative options ready. Canada, UK, and Australia have become much more open to skilled immigrations in the last few years and may offer a smoother path. Remote work is also becoming more mainstream. So, for some, continuing to work for US companies from India might be the simplest solutions. The $100,000 fee may not be annual, but still the single biggest cost increase to the H-1B program in decades. It's not just about paperwork, it's about who gets to participate in the American economy and at what price. For India, this is not just a tech issue, it's a family issue, an economic issue, and a diplomatic one. The next few weeks will be critical. Legal challenges are likely, clarifications may still come, and the real world impact will start showing up. If you or someone you know is on an H-1B visa, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you changing your plans? Drop a comment below, and I'll keep tracking this story as it develops. And if you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. Thank you.